You finally get a free day. No work, no plans. Nobody needs anything from you. And instead of feeling good about it, you feel worse. Your body is sitting still, but your brain is running 100 miles an hour. You keep checking your phone. You start cleaning things that don't need cleaning. You feel this low, quiet buzz of anxiety that you can't explain. And the most frustrating part, nothing is actually wrong. So why does it feel like something is? If you've ever felt guilty for resting or felt anxious during moments when you're supposed to feel calm, you're not alone and you're not broken. But there is something real going on inside you that's worth understanding. Because this isn't just about being a busy person or someone who loves to hustle. This is a psychological pattern that runs much deeper than that. It started long before you had a job or a schedule or any real responsibilities. And once you understand where it comes from, you'll start to see it completely differently. Here's how it usually plays out. You finish a big project, or it's the weekend, or you go on vacation, and everyone around you seems to just switch off. They read, they nap, they sit there doing nothing, and they actually look peaceful doing it. But you feel almost itchy, like you're wasting time, like there's something you should be doing, even if you have no idea what that thing is. And it's not just restlessness, it's deeper than that. There's this background hum of anxiety that follows you into your downtime. You might start making to-do lists on your day off. You might replay conversations from earlier in the week. You might lie in bed staring at the ceiling, going over everything that could go wrong tomorrow, next week, next month. Sometimes it's not even specific thoughts. It's just this general feeling that you're not safe to let go. Like if you stop paying attention for even 1 second, something will fall apart. And the cruel part is, the more you try to relax, the worse it gets. You tell yourself, just chill out, and your brain responds with more noise, more thoughts, more low-level panic. People around you say things like, you need to learn how to enjoy life, or just stop overthinking. And you want to shake them and say, you think I haven't tried that? You think I enjoy feeling this way when nothing is even wrong? This isn't a choice. It's not a personality flaw, and it's definitely not something you can fix. By just deciding to calm down, there's a reason your nervous system works this way. And that reason goes back much further than you think. Psychologists have a name for what's happening here. It's called hypervigilance, and it basically means your nervous system has been trained over a long period of time to stay on alert, to keep scanning for danger, even when there isn't any. Think of it like a house alarm that got so used to being triggered that it stopped waiting for an actual break-in. It just goes off anyway, just to be safe. Now, here's the key thing to understand. You were not born this way. Hypervigilance is a learned response. It developed because at some point in your life, probably when you were pretty young, staying alert was actually useful, maybe even necessary. For some people, this comes from growing up in a home that was unpredictable, not necessarily dangerous in an obvious way. But maybe there was a parent who had intense mood swings, or a home where you never quite knew what version of someone you were going to get that day. So you learned to read the room constantly. You learned to stay one step ahead, to notice the small signs before things went bad. For others, it came from being the responsible one, the kid who had to hold things together, who learned early that if they relaxed, things fell apart. So not relaxing became a form of control. And for some people, it wasn't any single dramatic thing. It was just a slow build of environments, school, early relationships, early failures that taught your brain that the world is a place where you can't afford to check out. Here's what happens at the brain level. When you experience a lot of stress or unpredictability early in life, your brain actually rewires itself. Your amygdala, which is the part of the brain responsible for detecting threats, becomes more sensitive. It starts firing more icily, more often, at things that aren't actually threats. So by the time you're an adult, you have a nervous system that is genuinely, biologically wired to stay activated. Rest doesn't feel safe because your brain has literally learned to associate stillness with vulnerability. And this next part is where it gets really interesting. There's also something called earned anxiety. This is when your brain starts to feel like the vigilance itself is what's keeping bad things away. Like if you stop worrying, you'll jinx it. If you stop checking, something will slip through. Psychologists sometimes call this superstitious, thinking the belief that your mental effort is somehow protecting you from outcomes that were never in your control in the first place. So when you Finally, do sit down and try to relax. Two things happen at once. First, your nervous system sends up a red flag because it doesn't recognize calm as safe. Second, your brain starts whispering, "Are you sure everything's okay? Shouldn't you be doing something right now?" And that's why trying harder to relax often makes it worse. You're not just fighting boredom, you're fighting years of deeply wired survival behavior. There's also a concept called functional freeze. Some people don't get anxious and frantic during downtime, they just go completely blank. They sit in front of the TV and watch it, but don't actually register anything. They zone out. They feel kind of numb. This is also a nervous system response. It's the brain saying, "Okay, you're not doing anything useful, so I'm just going to shut down until we need to perform again." Neither version, the anxious one or the frozen one, actually counts as rest. Because real rest requires your nervous system to feel safe enough to fully let go. And if it was never taught that it's safe to do that, it simply won't. Here's the thing that nobody tells you. The problem isn't that you don't know how to relax. The problem is that your brain doesn't believe you're allowed to. Somewhere along the way, you internalized the idea that your worth, your safety, your sense of control was tied to how much you were doing. Rest started to feel like laziness. Stillness started to feel like a threat. And the bigger realization, you've probably been treating the symptom instead of the root cause. You've tried meditation, you've tried putting your phone down, you've tried taking breaks, and maybe they helped a little, but the anxiety came back, right? Because you were managing the surface, not the system underneath. What actually needs to change is your brain's relationship with safety, not your schedule. Your nervous system needs proof, real, repeated proof that nothing bad happens when you stop. So how do you actually start to change this? Here are 4 things that are backed by real psychology and that you can start doing right now. 1. Stop trying to relax and start practicing safety instead. The reason just relax doesn't work is because your brain needs evidence, not instructions. So instead of telling yourself to calm down, start creating moments that are predictable and low stake. Do the same small thing every evening. A walk, a tea, a specific show, and do it consistently. Over time, your brain starts to associate that routine with safety. You're not forcing calm, you're building it too. Name what's happening when the anxiety starts, when you feel that restless buzz. Instead of fighting it, say to yourself, "My nervous system thinks there's a threat." There isn't one. This is old wiring, not a real signal. This is called cognitive labeling, and researchers at UCLA found that simply naming an emotion reduces the intensity of the amygdala's response. You're not dismissing the feeling, you're just telling your brain the feeling is a false alarm. 3. Work backwards to find the original rule. Ask yourself, when did I first learn that stopping was dangerous? What happened in my life that made staying alert feel necessary? You don't need to have a dramatic answer. It could be something small. The point is that when you find the rule, you can start to question it. Is that still true? Is that rule still keeping me safe? Or is it just costing me peace? 4. Practice incomplete rest. A lot of people fail at relaxing because they try to go from 0 to full calm in one step. That's too big a jump for a hypervigilant nervous system. Instead, try layered rest. Do something low effort that still feels slightly productive. A podcast, light stretching, journaling. Over time, you can reduce the activity level and your brain starts to tolerate less and less stimulation. You're training it slowly, not shocking it. The goal isn't to become someone who never feels anxious. The goal is to build enough safety in your nervous system that stillness stops feeling like a risk. That takes time, but it's not as far away as it feels right now. If this hit close to home, subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next.